Welcome back to I'll Review Anything. I just finished Platinum End, and I guess it's time to talk about it. Platinum End was a manga that released to great acclaim in November of 2015. The series was written by Tsugumi Oba and illustrated by Takeshi Obata, both of Death Note fame. This was to be the return of something great, and you know what? Now it's an anime and it's bad. The story follows the antithesis of Light Yagami as he attempts suicide but is saved by an angel who throws him into a death game to decide who will become God. Death Note shenanigans ensue. If you've watched Death Note, you know what you're getting into. But I will say that most people would probably consider this more on par with the second half of Death Note. It doesn't feel nearly as smart as its contemporaries. Say what you want about Takeshi Obata, few can muster the sheer sense of style that he portrays in his artwork. Just look at these manga covers. Or don't, I'm not going to tell you what to do, I'm not your f***ing dad. Obata's work is extremely stylized, and that makes it very difficult to convert into any animated format without doing this to it. MADHOUSE got around this by doing what they do best, being Studio MADHOUSE. I don't know who decided to let Signal MD handle this adaptation, I really don't, but shucks wow they should be fired. It's the small things, you know. The stuff that should look beautiful and breathtaking like looking at a literal angel is instead flat and off-model. The animation has major problems too. Several things that should be animated just downright aren't. Some of this stuff is absolutely unbelievable to see from a major studio that isn't Trigger. Considering the sheer betrayal of Obata's art that this is, I might consider it on par with BERSERK 2016. Outside of a really fun opening song, the soundtrack is just forgettable. I guess you could call it boring background noise with one particular clip that they get to use at every single opportunity. The voice acting isn't anything terrible. It's probably the only thing that makes this bearable. Some of the dialogue pacing is just as unbelievably bad as the animation. I guess there is a slight upside. The ending is rather emotional. And just like every time I watch something like this, or I lose someone very close to me and I live with that weight forever, I cried. There just isn't enough here to get any real score of good out of me. It feels like the studio barely tried, and when you see something like this that was so blatantly pushed out without concern, it really breaks your heart. I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch the rest of the show unless I hear that they drastically change something. Platinum End gets a 5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing. Thanks to our producers Anthony Wumbo, James Novak, and John Foreman.